Hello Stamping friends. Today we are going to make a box that will hold 5-pack of the Cadbury caramel eggs, or there's different flavors, but I have the caramel eggs. But it will hold a box of 5 Cadbury eggs, and of course you could put anything in the box that we're going to make today. But we're going to do that. Plus, if you would like a catalog, and that is if you do not have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would be happy to send you a catalog. The catalogs aren't quite ready to be sent out, but I'm making my list, and I need to know that by the 30th of March. So just a couple of days. So please contact me. And there is contact information in the description if you would like for me to add you to my mailing list to send out the new catalog that will be sent out next month. If this is your first time here, I'm Terry Hartley at Rustic Barn Cards, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. And if you're returning, I really appreciate you returning and watching this video. The best way that you can receive news about what's going on in the Rustic Barn is by joining my mailing list, and that is my newsletter. And there is some information about that. Yesterday, Monday, March 27th, I mailed all of the Adorable Owls card class kit to go. So if you're one of the customers that ordered that, thank you, and it's on its way to you. And look in your email because I let you know that it is on its way. All right, well, today is Tuesday, March 28th, 2023. When I'm filming this, you may be watching it at a later time. But let's turn the camera down and let's make this box that will hold those Cadbury eggs or whatever you would like to put in there and give to someone. So today we're going to make a 3D project. We're going to make a box using the stamp set Easter Bunny. I am going to show you 2 ways to color the bunny images in here. We're going to be using the blender brushes, and also Stampin Blends. So you can decide which one that you like the best. So we're using the stamp set Easter Bunny. I'm also going to be using stylish shapes, and I will be using this circle die, and it is the 3rd from the largest. And then for the first box, I'm going to be using Designer Series paper. And it is called Like an Animal. And it's a specialty Designer Series paper. You will receive 12 sheets and 2 of each design. So here you have, metallic. You have silver and gold. So again, it's in the mini catalog, Like an Animal. We're going to be using this right here. And if I flip that over, then you have some gray and brown, and it is not shiny or metallic on the back side. So a lot of choices to choose from. So I brought in the trimmer. I'm going to bring in a cardstock basic gray, and we are going to cut this at 10.5 by 6. So 10.5. Just going to put it up a little bit to make sure that I have that. There we go. I knew there was a gap right here, and I did not have my arm extended on my, I did not have the arm of my trimmer extended all the way up, and it is now. So again, 10.5 by 6. So now I'm going to turn this And I am going to close the arm of my trimmer because I can just put this right here at 6. It goes along with this ridge, and that helps to give me a more straight cut. And then I'm going to score 1 3/4. So I'm going to turn and put 1 3/4. And I'm going to do that, use my trimmer, or my score blade rather, the lighter gray. And then I'm going to turn and I'm going to score 1 3/4 all on all 4 sides. I'm going to turn again. You do have to pay attention and make sure that that you use the scoring blade. And yes, if I'm not paying attention, sometimes I forget and I use the cutting blade when I want to use the score blade, and that does not work out very well. Okay, so we have this scored. I'm going to lay that aside. I'm going to bring in a designer series paper, and I've already cut this at 9 by 4.5. So the designer series paper, 9 by 4.5, and this is going to be our lid. And so I'm going to score it 1 inch on all of the sides. Then I'm going to turn, and the designer series paper is a little bit thinner than our cardstock, so you do want to be careful when you score it. So really just one time is all you need, where usually on the cardstock I'll go up and down with my score blade a couple times. And again, we'll turn that and all right, so I have both of those cut and scored. So now we are going to fold on the score lines. I'm going to start with the basic gray, which is the bottom of our box. We're going to make our box, and then we are going to do some decorating. So here I have our box, and I'm going to cut up right to this score line here. So I'm going to cut up and stop, and then cut up and stop. So I'm going to take my scissors, and then I'm going to turn this around. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to cut up and stop at that score line, and then cut up and stop where this score line goes across. And then we will be folding this, but notice how if you do it like this, it kind of leaves a little bit of a gap. You can see this when it's folded. So you want to take your snips and just kind of take some of that off, and you can do that on both sides if you want, but definitely on that outside edge. So I'm just kind of taking a sliver off, and I'll do that on all the sides. But I'm just doing that on those 2 pieces, on these 2 pieces that. So I'm going to turn that around, and I'm going to do the same on this as well as here. It just gives it a little bit cleaner look when you go to make your box. All right. Going to bring in, this is the lid, and I'm going to go ahead and we're going to score on our score lines. And you can turn it over. Because you really want this scored well. Okay, we'll open this up. And we're going to do the same thing. So this is the 9 inches here. And I'm going to start here, and there's a little square. So I'm just going to cut right up and stop. So I'm not cutting this off, just like on the other one. I'm just cutting, starting here, and going up to this fold line. Or score line, I guess I would say. So I'm just going to go up there. Turn this around and do the same thing. Start here, go up to that score line, and the same on this side. All right, and again, I'm just going to cut just a sliver off of that smallest piece here. I'm going to do that on this side and then turn around and do it on the other side. I'll be right back. All right, so since we have this right here, we are going to fold these ends in, and I want to give it another crease. And so the shiny part is up facing me, and I'm going to add some adhesive. Now you could use tear and tape. You could probably use this Stampin' Seal Plus. And then I'm just going to bring this up and hold that for a second. And line this up and hold it. It moved on me. And then you can take your bone folder and then we're going to do the same on the other side. We're going to fold these two flaps in. I'm going to crease that again. And these two flaps, when they're folded, it will be shiny. And that's what I'm adding the adhesive on. And then we're going to bring that up. Just a little extra there. Okay, we're going to lay our lid and bring in the bottom of our box and do the same thing. Give it a little crease and add adhesive. Then I'm going to turn and line this up and then just pinch it and hold. Turn it around. Then bring that bone folder in. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Fold it in. Use your bone folder, give it another crease before you add the adhesive. Now, if you want to, we can just add adhesive to just one flap at a time. So we'll do that for this one. Then I'm going to go ahead and fold it in and line it up and hold that. Then I'm going to fold it. Can you see, hopefully? And we will add some adhesive and then line this corner up. And then while this is drying, then we can go ahead and decorate. So we're ready to do some stamping. I'm going to go ahead and bring our lid back, and we will go ahead and add it to our box, just like this. And now we're going to go ahead and do some stamping to decorate. And then we will put those Cadbury eggs in there too. So I'm going to bring in 2 pieces of Basic White Cardstock. One is 3 inches wide. I don't remember the length of it, but it will be in the description. And this one is 2 3/4 wide. And we are going to go ahead and do some die cutting with our circle die cut. I brought in our mini cut and emboss machine. I'm just going to just cut off about what I need. So I have plate 1, plate 2, and now plate 2 again, and I'm just going to go ahead and run that through. And here we have a circle die, and I'll do that 2 more times. We're going to use Basic Gray and Blushing Bride, and we're going to use our blending brushes first. And I'm going to show you that technique, and then we will use our Stampin Blends. So let me go ahead. I'm going to use this rabbit here, that image, and I'm going to use this right here. And then I'm going to stamp our rabbits first. I am going to use our black ink to do that. So I'm going to stamp our rabbits first on this Basic White that's cut 3 inches wide by 8.5, I believe. And I would like these 2 rabbits to face each other. So we're going to do some reverse stamping. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead. We're going to go ahead and ink up our other little rabbit that's sitting up. And now I'm going to bring in our silicone craft sheet. And there's more than one way to do reverse stamping, but this is what I'm going to do, and it works really well. So I'm going to go ahead and ink up our rabbit. And I want to make sure that I have plenty of ink on our image. And then I'm going to stamp that right on our silicone craft sheet. And I'm going to hold it down just a little bit make sure that all that ink gets into the silicone craft sheet. Lift that up. Then I'm going to bring this back and I'm going to lay this right over the image. And I'm going to apply pressure with my hand, but I'm going to bring the block back because I want to make sure that the ink from the silicone craft sheet goes on my cardstock. And here we have a rabbit facing the other way. And then I'm going to cover up with the lid on my ink here. Bring in my chamois, and we can just take that extra excess ink off. Okay, now we're ready to do some coloring of our rabbits using the Blushing Bride and Basic Gray. So I'm going to start with Blushing Bride. And I'm going to bring in the mini blending brushes, but you could do this with the larger size also. So I'm going to pick up some of the Blushing Bride. And then I'm going to start off here. And then I'm just going to come on our cardstock. And again, I'll pick up some, start off. This rabbit's going to be two-toned. So we're going to do some gray and some of the Blushing Bride. And of course you can make it as light or as dark as you want. Since I am going to cut it off, I guess I can actually start on the cardstock and then go up. Okay, I'm going to do each one individually. So now I'm going to go ahead and lay that blending brush aside and bring in another one for the gray. And I will add some ink. And I'll start off over here and come down. Now we can color his tail gray, or we can, leave it white. And once again, you can decide how dark that you would like and I'm going to go ahead and color up add a little gray to his tail or her tail. I'm going to make that just a little bit darker. And I'm blending into the Blushing Bride just a little bit so it kind of blends together. All right, so there's my first rabbit. And then here I'm going to go ahead, since I already have the gray, I'm going to start, and we will go ahead and add some gray on this body. Pick up some more. So this is kind of a quick way. I'm going to lay that aside and bring in the blending brush that I've used for the Blushing Bride, and we'll add some up here. And I want to add some Blushing Bride on the feet. So we are just going to go ahead And we can go over because we're going to be fussy cutting these rabbits out, so we don't have to worry if we go outside the line of our rabbits. Okay. Here's our second one, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the third one just in gray. So therefore, I'm just going to add some ink, start off, and then I'll just apply the basic gray and continue till we get the look that we're at after. I'm going to try to make this rabbit just a little bit darker to give a little contrast to the others. And then we're going to decorate another box, but we're going to use our Stampin' Blends for that. And then you can decide which one that you like the best. Okay, we're going to try to get a little bit more on there so we can really darken this up. Make it a darker gray. Okay, so now, of course, this rabbit, if you have the punch, you can punch this bunny out. And I do. But, of course, I'm going to fussy cut both of these because this is facing the opposite way since I did reverse stamping. And I'm going to grab a sticky note, which is another little tip to make, so now I can hang on to the sticky note and line this up. I think I have too much cardstock right there, so I'm just going to trim that off. Put my sticky note back on. There we go. And now I can line it up. Okay. And these are, you know, easy to fussy cut. I'll just cut this one and then we'll get this started so you don't have to sit and watch me. You know, if you're a new crafter, sometimes it helps to see all of the steps. And of course, you can always just fast forward if you don't want to see the fussy cutting. But it's here if you want to see it. See how I'm turning the cardstock. Kind of holding my scissors in the same place. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this, and I'll be right back. So let's decorate our first box, and then we're going to decorate another box that I have made using the Stampin' Blends. So this is the box that we made. I'm going to go ahead and open this up, bring in our 5-pack of, this is caramel egg, but they come in different, the Cadbury eggs come in different ones, but I did the milk chocolate. So we'll put that right in here and add our lid. And then I'm going to bring in our circle dies. And I'm going to use glue dots. Now you could use adhesive. This is, but I'm going to go ahead and bring in my take your pick tool. And I'm going to turn these over. And I'm going to adhere these with glue dots. And I probably could just bring it right to the glue dot. That might work the best, rather than the take the pick tool. So just bring your glue dot to your cardstock, your circle dies. And I'm going to add 4 in this one because I had 2 of them too close together. Okay. So before I turn them, I want to make sure that I have them lined up like I want. So just doing this for placement. Okay. So then I'm going to turn this one over. Then I'm going to turn the middle one over. And then the one on the left. And then we are going to, I've already stamped Happy Easter on this. Is a Basic White 3/4 by 2.5. And I stamped that in black. And then I'm going to bring in dimensionals, and we are going to pop up our rabbits, our little bunnies, with some dimensionals. And if you want to, you can bring your bone folder in and curl up those ears on your bunnies. And I'll take the backings off. And we're going to go ahead and add This would be helpful if I put it so you could see what we're doing. Okay, so here is the 3 bunnies on there. We're going to add some dimensionals on our sentiment, Happy Easter. There's several that you could use from the stamp set. And then I am going to add this right here. Get that even. So here we have a little box with 3, I did reverse stamping of the bunnies. So 2 of the bunny images, and you have 3 in your stamp set. And this holds 5-pack of the milk chocolate Cadbury eggs. So cute to give to someone at Easter. Let's go ahead and let me show you how to, another way to color the bunny stamped images. Before I do that, let's bring in the pastel pearls. I'm going to go ahead and add some gems. I have another box to show you at the end that is using different designer series paper. All right. So you have to have some embellishments, right? All right, let's go ahead and let me decorate the next box. All right, so I die cut out 3 more of the circle dies. I stamped all 3 images this time. So this is, there's 3 bunnies in the stamp set Easter Bunny, and this is one of each of them. And I have gray granite, light and dark, and dark and light petal pink. So that's what I'm going to be using to color these. So we're going to be using the Stampin Blends. So I'm going to start with my petal pink and go ahead and I'm just going to go ahead and just do all of the ears in the dark petal pink. And the back of his. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the little noses and the eyes. All right. Now I'm going to come in with the light gray granite. And I'm going to leave part of this rabbit white. I'm going to leave this section here white. And then I'm going to come back with the dark and add a few shadows. So I know right now this kind of doesn't look real good, but it should turn out better in just a few minutes. Okay, bring in our dark gray granite, and I'm going to color this dark, and then I'm going to add come back with the light and just kind of blend that in a little bit. And by going over the second time, then we're going to have a little bit darker. I'm using the light right now. All right, so here's our first one finished using the Stampin' Blends. And so let's see what we want to do with this one. You can color them the same. You can add different colors. It's just whatever you would like. And once again, I think I'm going to leave the tail white. You could add some cotton. Get a cotton ball and add that to the tail. Then we're going to bring in our dark gray. And I'm going to do the ears in the dark gray for this rabbit. We're going to darken that. Let's put a shadow there. Maybe down here. Then we'll come back with our light. I forgot his foot there, so we'll get that in just a second. Just going to kind of leave a shadow and make this a little darker right here. Okay, I think that looks fine for our second, and then let's just make this a little darker back here because we're using we have the dark in our blend, the dark Stampin' Gray Granite. So we'll just go ahead and do that right here. Okay, and then let's go ahead and make this dark. And then inside, we'll make his little tummy a little lighter. And I think we'll make his ears dark with the gray granite. You can just experiment and decide what you want. Come back with the light. And just color that in. Now you can go over the petal pink if you want to. I'm kind of going around it, but you can most certainly go over it with your Stampin' Blends. Just change the color a little bit. So notice how the light and the dark gray granite is really similar. So what I'm going to do is go back over using the dark one more time, which will darken and then make more of a contrast between the light and the dark. And every time you use your Stampin' Blends and color over, it's going to deepen that color and darken it. I think I'll leave the feet like they are. I'm going to go ahead and darken those ears again. So see how by darkening it kind of pops that, it shows more of a contrast. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and cut these, punch this one out, cut these out. I'll be right back and we'll decorate the next box. And I do have another one to show you that I did using different designer series paper. So stick with me. So I have another box that I made just like the one we made together. Going to bring in our glue dots. And I think 3 glue dots on each of these circles should work just about right. And again, I have one more to show you, and then we're going to compare this box when we have it decorated with the one that we used blending brushes instead of Stampin' Blends. And I think I need one more right there. All right, so again, we're going to place those kind of where we think they should be. And then we'll just turn it over. Set that aside. And this time I made the sentiment an Easter treat for you. And again, this is 3/4 by 2 1/2. So we'll pop that up with some dimensionals. All right, so we are going to put this little bunny right here in the middle. And then this bunny will be looking at that bunny in the middle. And then we'll put this one right here. And then let's use some different gems instead of pastel pearls. And then an Easter treat for you. It's going to go right here. We'll pop that up with dimensionals. Well, we could use our classic matte dots. We could use the gray, but we have a lot of silver and gray. So we also could use these rhinestone basic jewels. And there is already a lot of shine on our lid, but I think I'm going to go with the rhinestone. And I'm going to use the small. I think I'm going to put one right here. And okay, so what do you think? This is an Easter treat box with the rabbits that we did with the Stampin' Blends. And let me grab the other box and show you that we use the blending brushes for. So this is a Stampin' Blends. And then this one is the one that we use the Stampin' Blends on right here. And we put Happy Easter, and we use those pastel pearls on this one. So here are two boxes exactly alike that will hold 5 of the Cadbury eggs, one with the Stampin' Blends, and then one with the Stampin' Blends and one with the blender pins. I'll try that again. We use Stampin' Blends on this, and on this one here, we use the small blending brushes, those blending brushes. So you can decide what you would like to use if you decide to create this box. Let me show you my third box, and I used different designer series paper for that. So an Easter treat for you, Happy Easter. I'd love to know in the comments whether you like the one that we made with the Stampin' Blends or the ones we made with the brushes. So on page 43 of the mini, there is dry brushed metallic 12 by 12 specialty designer series paper, and you receive 4 sheets, 2 of each of 2 designs. In the United States, it's $8. And so I used, and they have their foil accents and metallic ink, Cajun Craze and Rose Gold Petal Pink in one. The other one is Petal Pink and Soft Succulent. And I use the Petal Pink and Soft Succulent for the lid of my third Easter box I'm going to show you. But this is the paper, and I know it's going to be really, really shiny, but this is the one I use with the Soft Succulent and the Petal Pink. So you receive 2 each. So you get 4 sheets, 2 of each of these. And they're just one-sided, so the other side is, but they're really, really beautiful and shiny, as you can see. So I use Soft Succulent for the base of the bottom of my box. I stamped Happy Easter in Memento black ink on Soft Succulent cardstock. The lid is a Soft Succulent and Petal Pink. And the rabbits, I used Cajun Craze. I think I probably would have been better off using maybe Petal Pink there. I was just trying to do something a little bit different. So anyway, here are the 3 rabbits, and I die cut the circle dies in Soft Succulent. So this is another idea using, you know, different designer series paper. So you could really use, and you could most certainly use cardstock for the lid, and you could also use designer series paper for the lid and the bottom. So, you know, here I use cardstock for the bottom of my box and designer series paper for the top, but you could do that for both. I would prefer cardstock for the bottom because it's a little thicker. So I think then that way it would be give you a little sturdier box than designer series paper. But it would work either way. So I hope you like these projects. And you should have enough time if you want to recreate this. I know I am going to be using these on as by table settings at Easter, or you could put it in an Easter basket, or use it at any time of the year by putting a different sentiment on there. Okay, so thank you for watching. I'm Terry Hartley, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States at Rustic Barn Cards. I like quick and easy projects. I'll see you next Tuesday. I upload videos, or I'm live on Tuesday of each week at 1 p.m. Central. Have a great, blessed week.